Welcome back to the garage. We are working on the landing gear now. First thing I need to do is cut out two of these. That's going to be the plate that goes on the bottom of the wing, and then the tube, the strut, will fit in this area here. So I'll cut that one out. It's drawn full size on the plan, so I just copied the dimensions. We'll round everything off once we get it cut out. But I need two of those, so that'll be the first thing is head to the bandsaw. There are the two pieces cut out. Now I just need to start drilling some holes in them. Okay, these pieces need to have a cutout at the bottom where the strut tube will go through, and it'll be at an angle. But it had the dimension to where the top of this cutout should be, so I put a scribe line there, then just stuck the end of the tube on there, centered it up, and marked a line. So I didn't have a no, I didn't want to use a hole saw. I think I've got an 1.5-inch hole saw, but it needs to be a snug fit. So I'll just rough cut that hole out on the bandsaw and then probably trim it up with the burr and the die grinder. All right, we've got the notches cut. Nice tight fit on the tubing. Now we need to start making the gussets that come down off of those mounts that hook to that angle that'll go on the mounts. And that's a tracing of what the gusset looks like. I need to cut 4 of those out of 40 thousandths 6061. All right, I've got the 4 pieces cut out. The black line on there is going to be a bend line. We got to put a 90-degree bend on that because there'll be another strip that connects these two together on the backside to kind of box it in. So 2 bend one way, 2 bend the other. Okay, it'll go on the landing gear like this. There'll be another piece that ties these two together, which is what we're going to build next. And when they're all set, there'll be a line of rivets down there that holds that to the strut. So let's build the pieces to tie them together. Okay, there's the 2 rectangle strips. They will just go down the back side of these to box it in. So now we've got pretty much all the pieces we need, so we could start actually putting something together. I've been making a little progress here. We've got the little angled pieces drilled, and that's pretty much what it's going to look like. You end up riveting that onto the plate here, rivet the angle, or rivet the gussets onto the angle on the side. I've got the holes drilled here, and then your strut goes right straight down through here. There'll be a line of rivets here on each side that holds it in place. So right now, I'm going to do a little more work on the plate here, but I've got both of the gussets that far. And just like that, these landing gear pads are lighter. The holes are all marked on the plans. I just used a step drill to drill them all out. The slot here, it showed where the end holes are, drilled them. I could have put that in the mill and cut that slot out, but since it's just a lightning hole, I just cut the excess metal out with a cutting wheel on the angle grinder, then hit it with the burr and a file and a cartridge roll. Smoothed everything out. This hole here is listed as for the brake cable. I haven't decided what brake setup I'm going to use, but hole's not going to hurt anything being in there, even if I go with something that doesn't go through there. So next up, I need to start getting these drilled to go on the sward. One more piece that I needed before I was confident in mounting these on the spar was the end of the strut here. Now what you have to do is drill an angled hole through this piece of tubing, and it calls out the angles in the plan. So I just clamped this in the milling machine next door, and then used a center drill, got it started, drilled on through. And that's a piece of 1/2-inch tubing that goes through it. It's got a 1/4-inch hole in the middle for the bolt. And this bolts onto the top of the spar, the wing spar, and then your plate there fastens on down here and has the gusset that goes below. So I wanted this in place I wanted to be able to bolt this on there and move it to where it is a 90-degree angle to the wing spar. And that will tell me exactly where that needs to be clamped down and bolted through. Okay, what we're looking at here is we've got that hole and piece that I drilled through there bolted to the top spar cap because the plane's upside down. This will end up bolted to the bottom spar cap, comes up and fits around the strut tube. And then these other pieces we've been building go on like this. It looks like I need to angle that strut out just a little more because we want it lined up with this. But that's no problem. And then this back hole here, there's 6 bolts go across here, 2 on the outside, and then 2 that go through the angle. And then there'll be a row of rivets up through here, and we use the stainless steel heavy-duty rivets on that. And when you have 2 of these, 1 on each side, then that plate boxes it in on the back side. So right now, I need to move the plate one way or the other to get the strut perpendicular to the wing. And once that's done, everything's straight there, then I can go ahead and drill and get that plate ready to bolt on. And that's the main thing I'm doing right now, is I want to get that plate where it's set up to bolt on. Then I'm going to go ahead and skin the wing, because you can come through this hole here and get to the bolts for the strut. So that's all removable after the skin is on. I just wanted that plate in the right position to have this done. And of course, this little piece down here that I shoved through that tubing, it gets welded on there. And then on the other end, we have the hub assembly. I've got to make it and weld it on too. So there's a lot more to do to the strut tube, but that'll be a later video. Right now, I was just trying to get this drilled and bolted so I could go ahead with the skins. Okay, we've got the mounting holes drilled. Took them out to 3/16 because they use AN3 bolts. I'm going to end this video here on the landing gear because that's all I'm going to do right now, because that's all I needed to do to get that set, to fit that on there to get the skins. So the next video is going to be putting the skins on here for good, actually riveting them on. I'll be able to rivet everything on except for the top row here, because there'll be a trailing edge that goes in there. That part will be cleat-coat on, but everything else will be finished riveted. So right now, lots of deburring, cleaning everything up. Got to rivet the ribs onto the spars, got to rivet the skins onto everything. So that'll be the next video. See you then. Thanks for watching.